Luca, make a One Piece video. Luca, do a video about Luffy. Guys, I like to go out. I like to party. I like to touch grass. I like to play sports, go to the gym, talk to people. Do you really think I have the time to read all of One Piece and stay caught up? The answer is yes. Today's video is about Luffy, the speed fruit abuser. Obviously, there will be manga spoilers. Let's get right into it. As always, we must ask the question, who is Monkey D. Luffy? I said it again, YouTube. I said monkey again. Please don't demonetize me. Luffy is a guy with a knack for adventure, an ideology similar to that of a hero from hundreds of years ago, and makes the best use of an otherwise pretty mid devil fruit. Just kidding. Luffy is actually the inheritor of potentially the strongest in-universe fruit, the son of a rebellion faction leader, the grandchild to a folk hero, more like legend to be honest, brother to son of the Pirate King, and protege to the world's second strongest swordsman and professional rat. I'm memeing a little bit, yeah, it's a shonen trope, but at the end of the day, I would have always preferred Luffy to just stay with the Gum fruit instead of getting Nika Nika, but whatever, we'll let it slide, it's still fine. Now, importantly, he put Small Ant and other speedrunners to speedrunning shame. And while I was writing this presentation thinking about what to talk about Luffy, this is kind of the central idea of what we're going to talk about today. You will see momentarily. Because this dude, like I said, is a speed fruit abuser. Now, he also kind of has Toon Force, but not really. I know some people say that he literally has Toon Force. No limits fallacy. If you don't know what that is, look that up. But yes, Luffy can still be defeated. If he was truly a Toon Force character like Bugs Bunny or even SpongeBob, it'd be really, really tough to ever lose. In typical shonen fashion, of course, Luffy has made friends with basically everybody, including a pirate hunter, like an evil lady, a cyborg, a dead person, and an animal, amongst many others. He's got a lot of friends, Mr. Worldwide. He's just like me for real. And though he was trained by Shanks, he funnily enough and ironically figured out Mihawk's reason for being so strong, because in the most recent chapter he managed to take some black paint and paint a baseball bat to make it a stronger weapon. Mihawk, you're a fraud. And last but not least, he randomly gets baddies. He's not that cute. I mean, more specifically Boa, of course, who is canonically the most beautiful woman in universe and probably from a meta perspective, the prettiest. I mean, dude, Luffy, fucking save some riz for the rest of us. But here's where the presentation really begins. One Piece Speedrun, any percent. We are going to be talking about Luffy and what he's accomplished in the very surprisingly short span of time that One Piece has been going on. And I don't mean the 22 plus years of the manga itself, but in universe lore. So, part 1 is estimated to be about 9 months long. I did not do the math myself, I just looked this up and a lot of people seem to agree with it. So, speedrun, start. Okay, so of course, Luffy pulls up. He starts with some pretty petty crime against the world government. He frees someone that's supposed to be executed and then makes enemies with Smoker, including the world government. I gotta say right now, a lot of what Luffy has done will be admitted because in the 22 years that One Piece has been serialized, yes, a lot has happened. We're just gonna make some big points, okay? Next, of course, he saves a whole ass island from dehydration and a mob boss mafioso Gaara with a hook for a hand. And meanwhile, he also meets a princess who is later important to the story. This has all probably happened in like a month, if we're lucky. He becomes friends with an SSS rank criminal and baddie, Nico Robin, and she joins his crew. Subsequently after that, this criminal who knows so much about the world government gets captured, and Luffy, as a teenager, declares a literal war on the world government. Now everybody knows who he is. So of course, following the natural turn of events, he goes to like a government hideout and just basically bashes the fuck out of the place, and not kills, but definitely incapacitates a lot of government workers. So much so that they call a buster call, which in my opinion, by the way, should be way stronger than it actually is, because them shits never fucking do anything, if you know what I'm saying, but whatever. Luffy's managing to escape even that. Next, my personal favorite part of Luffy's journey, he raids the most secure prison in the world, guarded by a fucking constipated guy. Yeah, it ain't gonna be the most secure if you have to shit every 5 minutes, Magellan. So yeah, I mean, come on guys, 9 months, that's it. Oh. There's more? He does more in the 9 months? Yes, he does. He breaks back out of that prison after surviving some of the most nasty poison I've ever fucking seen. Me personally, if I was looking like that, I'd be donezo. I'd be like Agni. Even if I had regeneration, I'd be like Agni from Fire Punch. I'd be like, no, just take me, dude. This shit sucks. I don't even want to touch Ivankov. But okay, regardless, he breaks out just to join one of the biggest wars in the world. And just like the ninja war in Naruto, war in Marineford is kind of a strong word because this shit lasted like, what, 15 minutes, maybe, tops? I mean, these characters are fast, dude. You can't tell me that fights last longer than like a couple minutes. Except for the Kaido fight, which we know in real life took several fucking years, it felt like. And then we find out all the shit we talked about earlier, where his grandfather's a legend, his father's a legend, Ace is his brother, blah, 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 blah. He's not his real brother, but Ace is also Roger's son. Okay, after he makes it alive from there somehow, within the span of these 9 months, he punches a descendant of the gods. And, you know, the celestial dragons, if they are descendant from them, the gods must be some fucking morons, dude. What's the dude's name? Charles? I'm sure a lot of you look like Charles. Just kidding, but not really. He disappears then for 2 years without elaborating. All in the span of 9 months. Now you guys might be asking the question, what the fuck? And yes, if this was streamed as a speedrun, you'd certainly get whiplash from watching. Because, dude, imagine regular people hearing about this in real time, over the span of 9 months. Maybe you have a wife, maybe you are the wife, you know, you guys just get pregnant. In the span of 9 months, you see these fucking wanted posters for a guy that's not even gonna be that much older than your child. Fucking wreaking havoc upon the place. Like, what the fuck, Luffy? And then 9 months later, you hear about this war, this Marineford war. I'd be thinking, if it was me personally, if my wife was pregnant for 9 months, I'd be like, oh man, maybe it wasn't time to, maybe it wasn't a good time to have a baby. I might even decide to pull the old milk and cigarettes trick, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway, move over, Florida man. East Blue Man is here, and he's here to stay. It's fucking Luffy. But in the very famous word of every infomercial ever, wait, there's more. The speedrun is not yet done. And better yet, post timeskip is literally weeks long. I have again not checked this, but that's it checks out based on the arcs. Alright, we're out of the 2-year cutscene, start the timer back up. He beats up a loser shark that does roids. Man, Hody Jones is a fucking bum, dude. I could have been down there and smashed this guy. In my opinion, this is One Piece at its absolute worst. This is like the most aggressively shitty arc that I have ever read. I'm sorry if you really like Fishman Island, but the fact that Sanji's nosebleed due to a woman passing by is a critical part of the plot I cannot wrap my head around. We gotta speed this up just like Luffy. Then he saves a country that we've never heard of before from basically Zesty Geppetto, who is also basically the most evil person ever. Not only that, Geppetto's lackey has a literal one-shot and is fighting for potentially the most broken devil fruit in the series. Speedrun is getting intense now, because then he pulls up to the tea party of an emperor and subsequently tries to kill her, assassinate her, poison her. But it fails, because she's too strong. So because it fails, he dips, but don't worry, he and his boy both make it out alive, because, you know, if we died, we have to restart the speedrun. But very shortly after that, we get a new main quest. Oh shit, there's another emperor. Samurai edition. And man, this part of the speedrun, this is where people lose a lot of time, because Wano is fucking long. But it's still not done. Then he raised presumably the strongest faction in the world, the Beast Pirates and Kaido, the 1v1 king, with the help of zoo animals and bums. Literally. Again, if you like the characters, especially the scabbards, I don't know what to tell you, dude. Those guys are fucking boring. I'm a Wano hater. But after like 400 billion chapters and only 30 seconds passing in the real world, he manages to beat up an alcoholic after like 3,246 attempts. Meanwhile, his boys obviously defeat a fat grandma, and he awakens the God Fruit. Wow, that was a really tough boss fight, wouldn't you say so? Yes, but as we said, he leaves after awakening that God mode, and he meets the smartest person in the world, who is, an apple, by the way. I actually grew to like Vegapunk more after his initial introduction, but when he was initially introduced, I was like, holy fuck, dude. Did Oda really have to make this guy a joke? I've been waiting for Vegapunk for so long. But the Pirate King video game is not yet finished, so the last thing you can do in the speedrun, and the last thing Luffy is about to do in the speedrun, is about to be charged with 5 cases of elder abuse, and I can't wait to see it. Whew, okay, speedrun complete. 9 months and like 11 weeks, maybe 12. What should we call it, guys? Obviously, we're not counting the 2-year time skip because that was simply a cutscene. All right, that was a lot. All that to say, Luffy helps me ask you guys this question: what have you done in the last 2 years? Remove all the cutscenes. Are you where you want to be? Are you working hard enough? Are you being what you want to be? And of course, my dear power scaling community, time to trigger them all. After all that, he still loses to Ichigo and Naruto. We're not going to get into the power scaling here, but all I have to say is Luffy is not Lightspeed, and I don't want to hear it in the comments. Regardless, suffice to say, the world record has been set by Luffy. Now again, let's put ourselves in the shoes of the One Piece universe, people, because this random teen is really about to find the One Piece before the heavy hitters that have been spending their entire lives trying to do so will. The really one gripe I have with Luffy trying to do this at his young age is that even Roger and probably Joy Boy weren't this young, but again we let it slide because of course it's a fucking shonen. But before we leave this slide, there's one more man that has talent almost equivalent to Luffy when it comes to speedrunning, and that man is Kobe. Because Kobe, the character who started off as maybe the most fodder character in all of One Piece, spent like, I don't know, 3 months to become the strongest in the East Blue by fucking far, and then most recently, he fodderizes mountains. I mean, Luffy at least had a devil fruit in some place to start before he started his journey, but holy fuck, dude, Kobe got strong fast. Kobe! I'm never gonna do that again. My voice also weirdly cracked. Anyway, in conclusion, what can we say about Luffy the speedrunner? The dude has taken shonen pacing to a new level, and that is facts. On the bright side, though, he does have unlimited riz, both with the baddies and his crew, because everyone loves him, and everyone will continue to love him. Another classic shonen trope. He's just like me for real. Then, of course, as we've established, he commits elder abuse multiple times, that being against Big Mom, Kaido himself, and now he's about to commit some heinous acts, probably against the Gorosei. Are we calling him an ageist bigot, or are we calling him based? Just kidding, I love old people. Speaking of the elderly, there are like 0.02% of you that watch these YouTube videos that are 65 plus. Yeah. I was 9 years old once and having to make a YouTube account by lying about my age. I get it. Anyway, continuing with his baseness, he hates alcoholics. Actually, that's not based. Actually, that's a joke. Please don't take it to heart. Puppeteers, sharks, and sand. Just like Anakin. Very importantly, we didn't talk about this too much, but he is friends with a literal rat, just like the guy from Ratatouille. And he was the main character of his own show, kind of. Actually, the rat was. But I mean, Shanks may as well be the main character too. But all that being said, the speedrunning king also deserves to be king of the pirates. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing. There you go. There's the One Piece video. There's the Luffy video. There's a lot more characters to cover if we want. Luffy PR team, let me hear you down below. One Piece PR team, let me hear you down below. Anti for both of them. Fight them in the comments. What do you think about the character? What do you think about the show in general? What do you think about his speedrunning capabilities? Did I miss any character? Is there someone that's even faster in what they do? Send this video to Small Ant and see if he can speedrun One Piece faster than this. Leave in the comments down below, of course, anything else you'd like to see. I'm here for you. I reply to you. I listen to you. Well, my dear glazing community, it's been a pleasure as always. I will see you next time. Muryo Kusho. I'm out and I love you.